Hello, everybody. I was just nominated to greet you. Greetings. If you're here, thanks. Drop a comment to tell us where you're tuning in from and roll that beautiful beam footage, Matt. Woo. We did it. We did it. We're on the other side of the portal now. Welcome to the pocket dimension.
It happens. It's like fish and streams.
Okay, tabletop. Oh, I have an announcement. This week, Fitz and I decided to knight our very first ever pocket dimension paladin, and that would be Tabletop Phoenix, who's in the comments. So, thank you for your service. To our first paladin,
Sir Tabletop, Sir Phoenix.
Sir,
we have our friend Michelle there, and we have our friend Sarah Mobley, who has played her very first game of the D&D this past weekend, and I will hear the
Really? I haven't heard about this
soon.
yet.
We've got KBH in the house.
Oh man,
our friend Kyle, who is
Dungeon Master Seth.
Person. We have Dungeon Master Seth.
Jax.
We have Jax.
From the armpit of America.
I think there's a few of those, Jax.
Yeah. You didn't narrow the field enough there. Yeah.
More than two.
How many arms does America have? Anyways, we could already tangent. What are we talking about today, y'all?
Oh, so psyched. So psyched. Today we're continuing. This is our series about DC20, the new alpha RPG by, The Dungeon Coach. Oh, so that's good. His YouTube handle. The Dungeon Coach, our pal Alan. And yes, we are going to...
He's here. Hi, Alan.
Yes, our pal Alan is here. So today we thought, we kind of gave like an overview last week. Today we thought, let's just dive in. Let's just bring up the character sheet and see what happens. We're gonna try to build a character as best we can in the next hour, right?
Mm-hmm. I believe this is a full-on walkthrough, soup to nuts, how to build a character in DC20.
Yes. And
Let's go.
Let's do it.
That's right. Let's blow some people's minds with a Psion Mind Blast.
Okay, there we go.
Well, and so speaking of, we put out a little poll this week to see what y'all wanted to see built. Psion was the front runner the whole time. We also, what else did we put out there, guys? Paladin, Sorcerer, Warlord, Ranger. And you may be seeing these builds.
Cobblesmith. Cobbler.
Somebody who eats cobbler. Peach or blackberry. No?
Professional cobbler eater.
Yep, I love cobbler, man. That might be one of my favorite desserts. Coming in beta, cobbler eater. All right. So Psion was the big winner. I think because it is one of the new ones. It's one that people do not have a lot of context around. I was lucky enough the very first time that I met Dungeon Coach at GaryCon back in March, I got to play a Psion. And it was super fun, and I loved it, and I've wanted desperately to play a Psion ever since. So we figured, all right, KBH Media says Peach Cobbler. My vote is Blackberry Cobbler. Sound off about your damn crispy cobbler choices in the comments.
Yes.
We want to know.
It's got to be crispy. That's all I know.
It's got to be crispy cobbler.
Crispy,
buttery, crispy, a little salty. Yeah, we got this.
Damn.
Is that
why did we do this at lunchtime?
Wait a minute. Is that why DCC... They've been saying it's Dungeon Crawl Classics, but is it Damn Crispy Cobbler?
Damn Crispy Cobbler.
It is now.
We're going to have food item names for all the games.
The Pocket Dimension, renaming all the TTRPGs in history. You're welcome.
Crispy chicken cobbler. Absolutely not. Yeah, we got to stop doing this at lunchtime, y'all. We have to stop meeting like this. Hungry.
We got to stop. Okay, let's build a Psion.
Psion.
Would you like to start?
Before we
Before
we get started, I have a question.
Yeah.
Are are Psions a thing in other TTRPGs? Is this something like specific to DC20?
Alan.
I know that Alan built a Psion for 5e before DC20. I do know that.
Okay.
It is. There have been versions of Dungeons and Dragons in the past that have played around with the idea of a psychic, like a mind magician, a magic user that uses the power of your mind. And so I think that is where I mean, he's here though. He can tell us exactly where it comes from in his mind. But yeah, I think it's like, you know, Professor X all up ends.
Okay.
And correct me, Alan, if I'm wrong, but wasn't your inspiration for the Psion Jedi from Star Wars?
Goes back to Star Wars.
Kind of remember that nugget of info. Anyways.
Only Psion
I know it's a
No,
Toyota.
it's Toyota.
Oh, man.
Keeping it real.
Wow.
I think-
you'll be here all week.
Yeah, Mr. Phoenix is right. Nothing standard anywhere. I don't think it has caught on, but it will.
Okay.
It will.
But
It
it's,
will.
it's about to.
We're about fixing to.
Amazing.
Fixing to. Okay.
Fixing two.
All right.
So let's. So we got the alpha. I will say this. This was my first week. I cracked into the alpha. I was overwhelmed. I just want to assure everybody 109 pages is overwhelming. I do want to call out one thing that I love though. I loved, Alan, the tips that you've put of like ways to frame and give context and think through the stuff that you walked us through. Chef's kiss, absolutely beautiful, and was getting my wheels turning and was getting me so excited about building a character. So let's pull up a blank character sheet and have some fun together. If this is your first time, trying to build a character in DC22, just know that you have friends, and those friends are us and all the people in the comments.
Friends.
Speaking of which, Beto, welcome, greetings to you. Thanks for coming back.
And
it looks...
Dungeon Coach is now weighing in. Jedi is a huge inspiration, and I think there is design space for a mental magic wielders. I think playing someone like Yoda, Professor X, is not possible in current TTRPGs.
Okay, follow-up question for the Dungeon Coach. Do Psions, are they utilizing midichlorians? Allison doesn't know what we're talking about. That's okay.
But I know it's nerdy, so I love it.
I wish I didn't know what you were talking
And
about.
Matt wishes he didn't. Fitz knows what's up. All right, moving on. Okay, let's go.
All right, let's go. Let's build a character. So you decide that you want to build a character. You want to play Dungeon. You want to play DC20. You open up a character sheet. You are greeted with my least favorite thing in the whole entire world, which is a blank page.
Yes.
And one of those days, this blank page is going to just
walk all over you. Hold on one second. I don't know why it's suddenly acting up.
It's okay. You're giving everybody a good shot at the alpha.
Yeah, that too. Oh, I guess that's why, because it said, hold on. I'm going to show. Hold on, everybody. This is live and this is exciting. Let's do this one, right? No, let's do this one. There we go.
There it is.
Yay!
Okay. Yay! I'm gonna make it a little larger.
Yeah, make it big.
Make it big and beautiful. We love it.
And we do have confirmation that the Psions do not use midichlorians. Thank you, Alan. Thank you.
The force is strong with this one. All right, so we're building a level 1 character. Matt's already pre-populated. So my name is Allison, or AK. I have decided that my character's name is going to be Benina, but she's going to go by Benny for short. We're playing level 1, big level 1. If you want to pop that in there.
I'm going to pop that in there.
And ancestries are coming either later in alpha or beta, but we're going to see a lot of the same or similar. I've decided that for this, I want to play a gnome. I've never played a gnome before.
Gnome.
Oh.
So let me play a sweet little gnome. Background coming soon, so we don't have to worry about that just yet.
I'll just do that. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And as we've all already covered, I'm playing a Psion. And just as a little teaser, I've seen some questions around the World Wide Web about this. Yes, we are planning some actual play. So you just might get to see Benny in action. Hopefully sooner rather than later.
Mm-hmm.
Benny and the Jets. All right. So Fitz, Fitz is our what are you, our Sith Lord? I don't know. Make a Jedi reference that everybody will get. I don't know how this works.
Yes, I will be. Unfortunately, though, the Sith, there is only one master and apprentice. There can only be two. So it's not like I can take all of you on. But you can vie for apprenticeship here under my tutelage today. You must impress me. So the first thing we are going to do... I demand a lot.
Love it.
First thing we're going to do is we're just going to go through this sheet as if we were just reading and doing it chunk by chunk. I feel like that's probably the easiest. Mm-hmm. So we're going to start over in the physical and mental attributes up on the left there. Yeah. Up on the left. So there are a few different ways that you can generate your scores. You can do a standard array, you can roll for it, or you can do a point buy. For simplicity's sake, since this is a new system for all, we're going to do the standard array and just keep it simple. Keep it light, keep it happy. So when you're doing standard array, you get 3, 1, 0, and -1 that you can allot to your 4 different scores. And then you have a wild card of 1 point that you can add to whichever flavor you like. Right. Except, keep note, that at level 1, your scores cannot exceed 3. So whichever one you choose as your top score stays with that 3 you get from the standard array. You can add 1 to any of your 3 lower scores.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
So
let's
here
just
is the so here's the array that I'd like to do for Benny. I know that she is a Psion, so I knew that we were going to stack her high in one of the mental categories. But I think that she is a fierce, strong one. So I gave Might 1, but I'm going to wild card it. So I'd like Might to be 2, please, Matt.
Okay.
So that was my 1, but I'm making it 2 with my wild card. I don't think that Benny is terribly quick on her feet. So that's where my -1 is going to go for my standard array.
Benny has no feet.
Benny just, kind of ambles around and probably stumbles a lot. Then I think she's a highly charismatic creature. So that is where my 3 is going in charisma. So leaving my 0.
0 for 1. And again, what you did was the originals are original
1
points are 3, 1, 0, -1 with a wild card, as you said. So we're going to make her just a little bit stronger.
I need for you to pause for a second and explain the wild card part.
Yeah.
Oh, you just get a free point that you can allot within your standard array.
Yeah.
So that's all it is. You just get an extra floater point that you can add to whichever of your lower 3 scores. So she could have added it to her agility and made it that a 0 instead of a negative, but we like a good challenge in our group.
Wow, Jackson just asked that question.
Ask that.
Good.
Yep.
Good on you, Jax. Yes.
Seth is busy calling me out for playing high charisma. Come on, man. You know what I'm going to do.
Yeah, but yes, absolutely, Jax. You can make that a 0 if the look of a negative number makes you nervous the way it does me. That's probably what I usually do. But I like this too because again, you've got this character that in 5e would have to be. It'd have to align to certain attributes already out of the gate. But no, you're going sexy Psion.
Strong sexy Psion.
Yeah, strong sexy Psion.
Oh, Sith overlords.
Yes.
Are these numbers going to change over time, or are these now that we've set these? Are they set?
No.
just for level 1. They'll change just like you would with your ability score improvements in D&D. You also get upgrades to these at, I believe, a number of levels, which include... Which levels do you get this at? You get more,
appreciate everybody doing the cha-cha slide in the comments, by the way. I see y'all.
Oh, I love cha-cha-cha. 2, 3, cha-cha-cha. So what's next?
Yeah, so you get a new attribute point almost every level.
Every level? Sweet.
Almost.
Nice.
Like, you get 2, then not, then 2, then not, then 1, not 2.
Powerful.
So, yeah.
Yep.
Okay. Okay, thank you.
So
Yeah.
next, we're going to move into the skills, which are these little, what's written under the attributes. So athletics, intimidation, acrobatics, trickery, etc.
Yes.
And so for those at level 1, I believe, correct me if I'm wrong, Sith Overlord, I get 5 skill points and I cannot double them up. So I can't put all 5 in the athletics bucket at level 1.
Right.
I can say I want 1 in athletics, right?
Correct. Yeah.
Yes.
You get 5 skill points that you can allot. But since at level 1 you cannot be higher than a novice,
Right.
you can only put 1 bubble per skill that you desire.
Mm-hmm.
Perfect. So the things that I would like to be highly skilled at as Benny, first of all, this was a question I had yesterday. So we talked about awareness last week, rather Fitz did, going under the Prime modifier. Can you give a little blurb on that again, Fitz, about what awareness is and why it sits there instead of one of the other 4?
So your awareness is now very similar to perception, but it is not locked into wisdom like it is in D&D 5e. Here in DC20, your awareness basically is a representation of the fact that you're still alive as an adventurer. So it's tied to your prime because that's going to be one of your higher stats. But it doesn't really necessarily belong in any of these other categories. It's not tied to your might or your agility or charisma. It's your overall ability to survive as an adventurer. So, yeah, that's why it's sort of on its own.
Love it.
Alan's in the comment sliding some things that, yes, we're getting to. By the way, I want to say this is the first time I'm doing this without Alan over my shoulder helping me do math, and it is extremely intimidating. But you've taught us well, Coach.
Substitute.
We're ready. We got this. Okay, so I want Benny to be an aware little one. So I'm going to fill out that bubble under next to awareness. So there's one for me.
Oh, okay.
If you'll
awareness.
the bubble. All the way
yes,
at the top
yes,
under Prime.
Yes.
Fill in the
awareness.
bubbles. I think that Benny, the little gnomish, smart Benny, wants to be pretty intimidating. So let's put a bubble next to intimidation.
Yes.
I think she's going to be a tricksy little gnome. So I would like a bubble next to trickery, please. That sounds fun.
Trickery.
Trickery. And to steal a word from Fitz, I would like for her to be an insight bot. I like for her to have a good pulse and beat on the room. So let's go ahead and bubble next to insight. Gotcha. Now, I'm not giving anything in the intelligence, investigation, medicine, survival. Boring. Just kidding. Nothing's boring. Everything's great. But knowledge, that is set aside. So let us turn back to Fitz to explain how I'm going to bubble in any knowledges that I might choose. Any knowledges.
Oh, yeah.
Sure.
This is where skills get real saucy, y'all. You can trade in 1 skill point to get 2 knowledge masteries. So since at level 1 you get 5 skill points, AK has spent 4 of them already with 1 left, meaning that she can now split that skill point into 2 knowledge masteries from the knowledge list. So it's a twofer.
I love it. It's a twofer. So even though I want to go 2 Arcana, we've already covered that I can't at this level, so I can go 1 Arcana.
Okay.
And I think I'd like to put my final one on Occultism, please.
Wonderful.
Great. So now you have some... Hail Satan! You've got
Satan.
2 more bubbles that you get to fill in at this point, AK.
Yes.
You get to decide, based on your attributes, which 2 you want to have mastery in for your saving throws.
This will come as zero surprise to anybody who knows anything about me. Let's bubble in charisma, please. Mm-hmm. That will be one of my masteries. And I'm going to go with now. So here's a question. I'm going to go with, I'm choosing charisma and might, because those are where I really want to stack the deck for myself. But what would happen if I say chose two of my, or one of my higher and one of my lower? I could do that here? And what would be the benefits of that?
Love that. Yeah, you could absolutely choose. You could choose any of the two. You could choose your two lowest if you wanted to. I mean, why not? It's all about how you're feeling. Personally, this goes back to any sort of character creation. I like to kind of pick things along the line of what I have envisioned for this character. So if for some reason you want to say that you pick agility and intelligence as your proficient saving throws, maybe it's just that you're only good at those things in the heat of the moment. But your standard... Yeah, you're good at those under pressure, but your standard baseline is maybe not so agile, maybe not so intelligent.
I love that.
But yeah, I see you and respect you for choosing charisma and might as your two.
Yeah, so for this point of this exercise, let's stick with charisma and might. So Matt, if you'll bubble next to might as well for my other mastery. But that was one of the things that definitely I think spoke to all of us as we were learning the system, is that you really can build exactly the character you want to build instead of I'm playing a warlock, so I have to be tethered to charisma. Good on ya, dungeon coach.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. So now we get to do a little bit of math. So we're going to fill in some numbers here, y'all. First of all, we're going to identify your prime modifier. Your prime modifier is equal to your highest score, which is charisma, so you get a 3.
Okay.
3. That's simple as that.
Boom.
And what do we use the prime modifier for again? That's used for spellcasting, combat, those types of things?
Oh, man.
Yep, so your save DC... Yeah, your awareness checks, your save DC, your attacks. Your prime modifier is just a simple modifier that represents your ability as an adventurer that is used in a number of different calculations.
Yes.
Versus if you're doing a strength check, a might check, you got to try to kick down a door or grapple someone, then you're rolling your might modifier.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Okay.
Yes.
Jax has a question. She says, I'm a little confused as to what the bubbles that y'all just filled in do. So you know how in D&D 5e, at various points as we're doing the character builds, you get to choose what they call proficiencies and ultimately expertise. So those are the things that you're saying. I want, my rogue already has a dexterous edge, but I want them to be super, super good at stealth. And then that bumps up those ability scores a bit. That's more or less, correct me if I'm wrong, Fitz, what we're doing here, where I'm now picking 5 things that I want to be, have started to master a little bit more quickly. Is that the case?
Mm-hmm. Yep. Okay. And the bubbles just are a reminder to yourself that that's what you've picked.
And they
can I just
they
add
help you with math.
And they help you with math.
Yes.
And Jax, I'd just like to add, it dawned on me today as we were going through all of this stuff, and you've been asking us a lot of questions about D&D 5e and following along with our, how to build a character there, and, saying, okay, I look at the character sheet and I'm just lost. Where do I start? And I was looking at the character sheet this morning for DC20 and going, wow, this is a totally new system. I don't know how this works. This is probably what it felt like when I saw a 5e or any D&D character sheet for the first time. It takes a minute to figure it out. So anyway, just wanted to say we're all in the same boat here.
We're all in the same boat. Yeah. Yeah.
Yep.
But so far, so good.
So far, so good. So
we've got some mites.
Yeah. And we're gonna be keep on keeping on. So as we scroll down, we now see our physical. So we have a physical save. This will be used in a scenario in which things are a little bit more vague. It may not be obvious that you need to roll a might save or an agility save, in which case you could roll a physical, which is a little bit more all-encompassing. That is going to be equal to your highest of the 2 saves. So we should
plus your level.
that out.
Plus the
plus your level.
Correct? Yeah.
or mastery. That's it.
Right.
So
that's
your
2.
might. Let's do your might and your agility saves right now.
Okay. Yes.
So you
'Cause
add.
Okay. So that will be
1.
3. I'm sorry.
Yep.
And then this will be
Exactly.
0, right?
2.
Right.
Oh, sorry. You're doing agility. Sorry.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Agility
now-
would be. Wait, would agility be? I'm showing that was -1.
Right.
Or the save.
-1.
Oh yes, sorry, it is
+1?
-1 because you do not have proficiency
Oh, right.
in it.
'Cause
That
you
is my
don't
bad.
have
Yes.
this. Yes.
Yep.
Yes.
So that
Very
is -1. Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Good catch.
Mhm.
So now between those two, obviously might is the higher, so your physical save is going to be 3.
Bing.
Bing. So now let's move to
Beautiful.
the mental. You have proficiency in charisma, so your save is going to be a 4.
4.
3 plus dot equals 4.
And 0 plus no dot equals
0
0.
plus no dots equals 0.
So
We're
your
doing
mental
it, y'all.
save- We're doing it. Your mental save is a
Nice.
4.
Great.
And
great.
are we now going to go do all of the kind of the rest of them? So going back up to, well, going all the way up to awareness. How do we calculate awareness again?
So you'll see that as a novice, you get a +2 to anything that you've bubbled in that you are a novice for. So here, your awareness, because you are a novice with your awareness, you get a 5. 3 plus 2.
2 plus 3 equals
3
5.
plus 2 equals 5.
I love how much y'all
now-
are making cha-cha a thing, and I'm here for it. Always and forever. All right,
And now
so
might, we have athletics is 2
Yes.
plus 0, because you do not have a bubble.
no bubble,
Yes.
Goose
You
egg.
put 0
2.
because
Intimidation would be 2 plus 2 equals 4. Did I do that right?
2.
So novice
Yep, so-
2, might
Yep, but
2.
athletics should be a 2, Matt, because
I'm
she
so
has 2
sorry.
points
You're right.
in might.
Sorry.
Yeah, there we
I
go.
heard 0. but
Don't nerf me, dude.
Hey, a nerf. Snarf. Okay. Then we keep going
Okay.
down. We've got
Keep going down.
negative
lot more to go.
1.
Yep. -1,
Yes.
1.
1 because it's
Because I-
2
Yep.
minus 1 equals 1. And then 0 minus 1 is minus 1.
-1. All right.
Uh-huh.
Now let's talk about my cha-cha. 1 foot, less stomp. Cha-cha slide while I do this. It'll be great. Slide
That
to
took
the
on a
left.
whole other meaning
Slide
for
to
me
the
just then. Not dancing. It wasn't a dancing. Anyway,
Oh, no. All right.
knows?
So,
That's just
animal.
where you're
3, right?
Yep.
And then 3. And then
Yep.
4. No, 5.
5.
Because
Yeah.
it's 3 plus 2.
2.
2 equals
Yep.
5.
Now, I do want to call out here for folks who are following along, building their own character in with the alpha. There is currently a little bit of an issue on the fillable PDF where influence and insight try to match each other. So just, maybe make a
fix
note
is
to
coming.
yourself, do some markup or something to just make that correction. And a corrected sheet is coming soon. So just wanted to note that.
Let the record show I did the math correct yesterday. Alan tried to call me on it, and I was right. It was the sheet that was wrong.
oh shade. Sick burn.
I can't. No, it's not a sick burn. I can't look bad at math in front of the former math teacher. I won't
It's
do
too
it.
late.
You were
Coach
feeling
is taking
some
psychic damage from your
severe-
scion.
Yeah, that's right. AK
I was
was
so
taking psychic
nervous.
damage over the math.
I really, really was. I was
how
an
did I
English
do?
major. Okay. Yeah. So let's look at this. So
How did I do?
0, 0, 0, and then we got 2. We got 0, 0, 2, 0. You did perfect.
Perfect.
You could ask for
Great.
anything more. Collectively, we mathed. Good job, everybody. It takes a village. Okay.
Woohoo! So now, Matt, you can scroll down a little bit because we're going to look at that trades and languages box right there.
Yeah, let's do.
So, I'm sorry that you're lost. I don't know what to do to fix that.
They're having fun watching us. We're at least making gobbledygook entertaining, which is all we could really hope for.
Yeah.
I'm doing my best to explain as we go, but yeah, it's a lot of numbers. I'm sorry, y'all. And to be fair, we've had a little bit more exposure to this, so we can't. We can't
but
exactly.
If there's something you want us to touch back on, shout it out.
Yeah,
we're
100%.
We're watching y'all.
100%.
And I'll also say real quick that eventually I would imagine we will somebody could build an app that much like D&D Beyond, which Evan and I talked about the other week.
Yep.
Much like that, a lot of this math can be done automatically, right? This is again the alpha and the sheet, and it's really well done, and you can fill it in. But you know, there's a way.
It'll roll up.
It'll roll up, but. I like learning this because that means I know how for the future of.
I think Jax just called all of us Psions with just keep watching. They get into your brain. Jax came to us having not played any role-playing games before, and now I got Jax signing up for every month's patron one-shot, which I love. That is not shade. That's sunlight and daisies and butterflies, Jax. You get obsessed with it, and now all of it makes sense. So yeah. And yes, Bivens Brothers Creative is going to build that app, Matt. We're just going to go ahead and speak that into the universe. We're going to do that.
That is for us.
All right, so we get, that's for me. See, you guys are listening. I love it. We get to choose 3 at level 1. You get 3 total trades and languages. So you could choose 3 trades, 3 languages, 2 of you guys can do that much math, right? So for the sake of ease, I looked at this list and chose the 2 that stood out to me the most. So I would like to bubble in and write in trades glass blowing and illustration, please, Matt.
Okay.
Doesn't that sound fun?
Yes.
I have a quick question. Are trades available regardless of class or whatever? It's anyone you can pick from those, no matter if you're a rogue or you're a scion or whatever. You can be a glass blower. Is that right?
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, you got 3 points you can spend. You can spend them anywhere. And I will call out that when it comes to trades, you are capped at the novice level like you are with any of your other skills. Languages, however, are not capped. Right. So if you wanted to spend all 3 points in a language so that you can be fully fluent, you could do that. Glass blowing. Love it. So it's all about how you want to flavor your character. There's a million different things you can choose from. And you could choose 3 trades. You could do 3 different languages. You could do a little bit of both like AK is doing. I do want to call out that the languages are going to be released a little bit later, but just for fun's sake, we kind of have an idea of what a number of them will be just based on, fantasy nerd background. So I believe AK has already picked one that she liked. I
always take primordial. So if we'll fill in a bubble next to and fill in the bubble one level bubble. I just put NA parentheses primordial on my finished character sheet because it's not quite out yet. But Alan, if you're listening, your girl loves primordial.
I love that there are levels of fluency.
I love
languages.
that. I do.
That you're not just completely fluent in whatever. Hey, Alan, is there going to be an in-game Duolingo?
Oh,
because I would like to
level
learn
up.
Prioritimal.
I don't need that bird.
890
I don't need him stalking me.
days of Spanish, and I still can't speak it
I love
at
that
all.
so hard.
I'm speaking primordial.
Oh my god!
Right?
Oh my god!
What was happening? That was amazing.
Holy, wow!
I'm sure it sounds something like that, right? It sounds
all right,
something like that.
Matt,
Anyway.
if you will, please bubble in 1 next to each of those things.
Oh yes,
to show that
because
I'm at
you start as
novice.
A novice. Yes.
Yep. So that's where what Fitz was saying is, if I wanted to, I could take out glass blow. I'm actually asking. I'm not telling because I don't think this translated into my brain yet. I could take away glass blowing and illustration and fill out 3 bubbles next to primordial, and that would be it for first level. Is that right?
Oh, you were asking me a question?
Yes.
Yeah, I'm asking. I'm not telling.
What were you asking?
Yeah, you've got
If I
3
wanted
points.
to.
Yeah.
Yeah, so if I wanted to, I could take away glass blowing and illustration and bubble in all 3 primordial.
Correct, but you could not take away primordial and add a
Primordial
bubble
and do
to illustration.
Right.
Understood now. I'm going to keep it as is just because I like being once again a Jill of many trades, master of none. So let's get mildly aware of 3 things. All right, moving on from trades and languages. Is it time? Is it time to talk about stamina, mana, hit points, mental and physical defenses?
We're getting
Emo hair. And so let me pay another compliment to Dungeon Coach. When we played this for the first time back in March, all first level casters only got 1 mana point, which felt underwhelming and like I couldn't really do much, right? Dungeon Coach has fixed this in the time between now and releasing the alpha. So that way stamina points are going to be for your fighter types. Mana points are going to be for your caster types, and there are some that are a little bit of both. So I'm not going to be focused on stamina today since I am all about overwhelming you with mind blasts. And so we're going to be focusing instead on my mana, which is a lot higher than 1. How do we figure that out, Fitz?
So first of all, why don't we go ahead and put 0 in your stamina points, because you ain't getting none of that.
I ain't getting nothing.
Oh, you ain't getting none of that.
So I guess
Now,
that makes it 0.
For your mana points, as a Psion, at first level, you get a base of 3, and then you get to add either your charisma or intelligence modifier, whichever one is higher, to that. So since your charisma is a 3, you add that to the base mana of 3, so you have 6 mana points.
Boom.
So this is where paying a little bit of attention to the type of player you want to be will help. I could have nerfed my mental stats, and that would have been really fun for me to play. There would have been implications there in my mana points had I decided to put a 0 and a -1 in charisma. That is not me trying to talk you out of doing that. That sounds fun as hell. And if you're into that, I'm here for you.
Now,
and you've done that during you did that, Fitz. You did that for a character
Yes, I did.
in the second playthrough. Yeah. Yeah.
I made a monk who I thought was going to die.
And yeah, nerf-tastic. Anyway.
Nerf test.
All right. So that's my mana.
That's your mana. And I do want to call out that some classes and some ancestries in the future will probably give you bonuses to this. But right now it's your base of 3 and then add your highest mental stat. So from there, we can do our hit points. Here's the fun stuff. This is a little bit of a longer calculation, but if you have the alpha, all of these formulas are broken down for you in the character creation and in your class section. So, it's not like you need to try to memorize these or anything. These are all in the alpha already. So your hit points at level 1, you get a base of 4, and then it's your character level times 2. So that's going to be +2 since we're level 1. And then you can add your might and agility to that. So for you, that's going to be what? That's going to be 4 + 2 + 2 - 1.
1. So 7.
Okay. So
This is like that scene in Clue. 1 + 1 + 2 + 1.
That's exactly right.
Okay. So it's 1, your level 1, plus your might. So that's
It's actually a base of 4.
sorry, right.
4?
Sorry. Base of 4. Yes. Sorry.
Character level
Plus-
times 2. So 4 + 2 is 6.
6. Yes.
Plus might is 7, 8.
7, 8.
Plus
Minus-
agility.
Oh, plus agility.
Exactly.
Is -1.
Well, but my agility is a -1. So
Right.
if my agility had been a 0, I'd have 8. But since I nerfed myself there, it's a 7.
Love that.
Math, even I can do.
Yes. Not hard. All right.
And also, my bad, I did misspoke a minute ago. The mana points are not going to be affected by your class or ancestry. your hit points might.
Hit points will.
Okay.
Hit
Or may.
points.
Got it.
I would also like to say something. I'm not entirely sure. Alan can correct us, but in the alpha, don't be confused. In the alpha, he's calling these health points rather than hit points. So, if I'm only mentioning that because I was searching the PDF and searching for hit points. Search for health points.
Good call.
It's both HP. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, HP. So now we're going to go to our mental and physical defense.
Yes.
So for mental, it's going to be 8 on your base, plus your combat mastery, plus charisma, plus intelligence. Your combat mastery is your level divided by 2. So that's going to be 8 plus 1, and it's rounded up. It's your level divided by 2, rounded up. So at first level, you get 1 point in combat mastery. So that's a 9 plus your charisma, which is a 3. So that's 12. Yeah?
Yep, 12 is correct.
All right. So now just for your own future brain, you can add what your heavy and brutal thresholds are. We don't have to worry about what those are in the moment, but it's good to have those numbers on the page. So how you calculate that is you just add 5 to the one before it. So your heavy threshold is going to be 17. Mm-hmm.
And 22.
Yep.
And this is one of the most fun parts about DC20 for me as Combat Gremlin is the heavy and the brutal. So you can really roll and well serves you right. And I love it.
But
I would.
Yeah, go ahead.
Well, I was just going to say, I don't want to interrupt the flow here in the process, but I do want to go back through stamina, mana, and these defenses and have you guys talk a little bit more about how that actually shows up in the game. So we don't have to touch on that now, but I just wanted to point that out, that I think getting these numbers to make sense is really cool to see. But then we need some context still. Anyways, keep going.
That's exactly what I was going to say is so much of this, and this is just, we will have a live play. We will play this game probably with this character. So if you stick with us, if you like and subscribe this channel, then you can join us and you'll learn exactly what heavy and brutal means. So if it just looks like numbers, how fun will it be to suddenly understand what those numbers are as we go along in the next few weeks?
Oh, yeah, we're absolutely going to be unraveling all of these threads. But yeah, just for right now, we're just trusting in the process and putting a bunch of stuff on a page. But we will come back, I promise.
Thanks, Tabletop Phoenix. Thanks, Garrett. We love having y'all here. Yes. All right. Final is my physical defense, which is base of 8, plus my agility score, plus combat mastery, plus armor bonus. All of that makes perfect sense, right? So that's going to be, just to quickly do this, so that's 8 plus minus 1, which is 7. Don't write anything just yet.
I won't.
My combat mastery is 1 because it's
1.
Your level. Yep. So what did I say? So we're now back up to 8. And then my armor bonus, which we'd already decided that I was a gnome. I'm in light armor. That's something a little bit separate. So that brings me up to 9 for physical defense. And making my heavy and my brutal 14 and 19.
Yes, and I'm asking this question. This calculating physical defense is not necessarily easy to do until you figure out, say, inventory and some other things, right? Because you can this number can be adjusted based on what you're wearing.
Which we are going to do. We're going to do that right now once you fill in the heavy and brutal.
14.
We've done a little pre-work, you guys.
19? Wait.
Yep.
Yes.
Yeah.
So, as mentioned, part of the physical defense bonus is that Psions get a little bit of armor. So, you always add, for physical defense, it's 8 plus your agility score, plus your combat mastery, which is your level divided by 2 rounded up, plus your armor bonus, which for Psions at level 1, you get 2 things in your starting equipment. Starting equipment is going to get more flavorful later, but right now you have a set of light novice armor and 1 light weapon, which I believe you have already picked what you want.
I've picked a baton.
Feels good.
Betty, the majorette scion
Yes,
strong
that's
woman.
exactly what I was envisioning. Blasting with my mind.
Oh boy, I love everything about it. Yeah,
I had
because
a whip in one of the playtests, and that was also super fun for me. So
No, I
thanks,
think-
Dungeon Coach, for giving us great weapons.
I think I'm gonna have to go whip for sure. Whatever
Really so
class
fun.
I am, I'm going whip.
Full Castlevania.
Full
Yep.
cast. Great. So now we're gonna move into our little combat zone of the page here. That spot with the little D20s, that's just a way for you to track your action points. So we don't have to do anything with those right now. We're going to be looking at the boxes for attack and spell check and save DC. So, and as well as your martial check. So the attack and spell check is your combat mastery plus your prime modifier.
Lower.
So
enough.
this answers a question that you had, Biv. Where and how do you use prime? So here's the first example of it really being used. So let's see. The combat mastery is 1, as we've gone over, and the prime would be 3. So that gives us
Lower. Love it.
okay.
And then save DC is, what is that, 8? I can't see the screen.
8.
Yep.
Sorry,
8 plus combat mastery plus
plus
prime.
Uh-huh. So
Basically, 8 plus 4,
12.
since we already did that, so that's 12. Yep.
Mm-hmm.
And then
And
you
This
choose
one is
either.
really fun. This one is so fun. How many times as a dungeon master do you say, the player says, I want to do this cool thing, and you're like, oh, that is so cool. Oh, but you're just the clumsiest person. Okay, well, you can either roll acrobatics or, and here it is right here. It's built in. The martial check is just either athletics or acrobatics. So, like, I'm assuming you would pick the highest one, which would be 2 for you, right? Of course. And it's just so fun because then you've got a number that you can really, like, I want a martial check, no question about it.
Yep.
And then for your attacks, you have your baton attack.
So put baton there, and then the damage is 2.
Battle.
And type, it's thrown with a range of 5 to 15. So I did thrown 5/15. All right. We're buzzing through a couple of things here just so we can make sure that we get through a lot of the important stuff in this hour together. Shall we move up to the exhaustion and death threshold, which Alan had told us about the death threshold. I didn't understand that it was a calculated thing. So I love now knowing that it is and how it's done.
Yeah, it's very cool.
So the death threshold, actually, Fitz, you'll probably explain a lot better than me. What am I doing talking? You go.
Well, luckily it's on the page there. So your death threshold is your hit points or your health points minus your prime modifier. So if at any point you get hurt enough that you go past that threshold, or you dead.
Done.
Yeah.
You done.
So 0 is down. 0 is your down, and then in your case, Benny, it's 7 minus.
No, it's 0 hit
sorry.
points.
I'm
It's
sorry,
the point
0
that you get down to
minus 3.
0
Sorry,
minus my.
right.
Yep. So it's -3.
It's -3, and that just means that some people will, when they have a higher prime in later levels, they can survive a little bit longer. It's a variable. It's not just like 3 strikes and you're out. It's if you can hold on to life, dear sweet life, a little longer. How about that? Beans.
Yep.
Okay.
Great. And now your move speed. Right now, everybody is considered medium size, and everybody gets a move speed of 4 for now. Now your jump distance. This one is cool. This is, and these numbers are spaces. How many spaces you can move? You can move 4 spaces. This jump distance is how many spaces you can jump, and that is going to be equal to whichever is higher, your might or your agility. So since your might is higher, you can jump 2 spaces. Woohoo!
Great.
Now, rest points. We definitely are going to talk about rests at some point because it is sick as hell. There's a lot more to it now than just short and long rests. There's everything from a quick, water break all the way to you've spent a week in a town resting and recovering. And they all have different elements that are associated with what you get back for that. But for right now, we're going to go ahead and just show you how to calculate your rest points, which it's just equal to your level. Simple as that.
Boom.
So your cap is equal to your level. And right now, she's got 1 because we haven't taken any rests. We haven't even started yet.
We haven't even started yet. Yeah.
Haven't even started yet. All right, guys.
Nice.
So now, this is where things are going to get even more spicy, even more flavorful, even more crispy. Even more crispy. Yep.
Because you're thinking, oh yeah,
damn crispy.
Okay, I get it, but it looks these are lower numbers than D&D, and it seems like a lot of them are already set. Well, this is part of the main space where you're like, this Scion is not going to be like your best friend Scion, right?
Mm-hmm.
This is where you can get wacky.
It's time to get wacky. And so now here's where the personalization of what your Scion can really do comes into play. So at first level, AK, you get to choose 1 cantrip and 2 spells. And for Scions, they get to choose from the psychic and enchantment list. The spell lists are going to bulk out, and you will eventually have more options. But for right now in the alpha, that is the list that Scions have access to. So you get to
and so you said it's 1 cantrip, 2 spells?
1 cantrip and 2 spells.
So I will be going with Befriend.
Okay.
You want to list these in the features? Yeah. I'm going to do Befriend, Psychic Fear, and do I want Command or Bane? I'll go Bane.
Bane.
Ooh.
And then
you're either a friend or a foe with those lists.
Yeah. I'm going to try to befriend you first, but if I can't get my way with you, that's it.
Auditioning for Sith apprentice.
She's coming in a close second.
Yeah. Then I also get the 4 class features, which are Mind Blast, Telekinetic Shove, Telekinesis, and Telepathy.
Yes. Okay. So Mind Blast, Telekinetic, Shove. One of my favorites. What's the last one again?
Then Telekinesis and Telepathy.
Telekinesis.
I'm so excited.
Telepathy. Love it.
Yeah.
Woohoo.
And that's my Scion. Meet Benny, everybody. It's going to be pretty fun to bring these to life.
Yeah.
Yay!
Wow, and that didn't take long at all. And we were, we had to ask some questions and stuff. It's really fun.
Yeah. Does anybody have any remaining questions about what we did or what we went through, or something still confusing as we sort of wrap up? We know we didn't explain necessarily what all of these things are and what they do. We will eventually, for sure. We can and we will. If there's any of these topics that you really want us to dig into, let us know.
Yes.
But as far as just getting some numbers on a page so that you can roll some click-clacks,
My favorite.
Great job, you guys. I was very much in the same boat as everyone else in that I saw Alan lead us through this, and we breezed through it really quickly. So I absorbed very little. This was really helpful for me.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, me too.
Yeah,
and I did this yesterday. It was still helpful.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Evan, you had mentioned, so when we play in our home game, we like to end with stars and wishes, where we kind of like award great things that happen in game and talk about the things that we want to see happen next. And Evan had a great idea that we do some stars and wishes today to close out this here broadcast.
Yes.
Oh, sure.
So who would like to start? Who would like to start with some stars and some wishes?
Stars and wishes.
I can start if you guys want me to, while y'all think about them. My star is for both Alan and for the community. I think it is the coolest thing in the entire world that we all get to be a part of this kind of living, breathing alpha. It's not done. There's a lot of places it's going to go. And I just think it's so cool that we all get to kind of help build it and constructively critique it and talk about what is and isn't working together and get excited as a bunch. And so my wish is for us to get an actual play going sooner rather than later.
Nice.
Yeah.
I will piggyback off of what AK said. For my star, I do also want to give a star to Alan because I sent him a question last night as we were trying to decode some of these things. Just slammed a question out, and he immediately got back to me. I mean, his just love for this game and how giving he is to the community. I think that this is a really wonderful space to be in, and I know that we are very proud to be championing it to be paladins for DC20.
Yeah.
We want nothing but this game to succeed, and we're having a great time nerding out over it. My wish is I cannot wait because it is currently not in the 0.4 alpha. My wish is, girl, I want to see that Druid. Want to see that Druid?
No.
Yes.
No, this is a no Druid game. This is zero Druids.
Druids!
Alan, back me up here. Alan, back me up. No Druids.
Yes, Druids.
Yes, Druids. No more Druid hate.
Oh man, I can't wait to see how Alan is going to improve the Druids by depowering them all the way down so that anyone can kill them, including me.
If you would like to tell the world that you also enjoy overpowered Druids, you can go to our Teespring and buy your own Druid t-shirt.
That's right. Yes, please visit our TeePublic store.
Wear your love or hate proudly. Yes.
Yep.
Yes, that's I do. I need to like hate rage wear a Druid shirt. I'll star and wish. I'll star and wish on something.
Star and wish, brother.
Yes,
star and
please.
wish.
I've seen in some videos Alan touch on this, and I think just watching the character get created before my eyes, one thing that I'm really struck by is the duality of things and the symmetry of things. And as a designer, I love symmetry, whether it's kind of a mirrored or it just feels like, or it's just balance, visual balance. So there's so much balance going on in this, and it's just one of my favorite things. A good example is physical and mental defense, and then your physical and mental attributes, and like there's a story that's happening in there, and also just the thoughtfulness that there is. Your physical defense is different than your mental defense. Why wouldn't it be? It's not the same armor class for both, right? So really, all the detail in there I really love. Wishes, I'll go back to my designer, put my designer hat back on. Where is it? And say, maybe not do that.
that is a designer hat.
That's my designer hat.
We learn.
I keep it over here.
Things every day.
Don't mind
It's called fashion.
crumbs.
Look it up.
Yes. It's I'm a Mennonite now or something. Yeah. I don't know. Anyway, my wish is as a UX designer, I'm always looking for the things that make people think less. One of my favorite UX books is called "Don't Make Them Think." And when you're designing an interface of any kind, be it a game or a website or whatever, the longer you make your users have to stop and think and consider something, the more cognitive load you're putting on them. And in terms of web design, then, well, no, they might click away. So when I see things like might and agility versus strength and dexterity, as a UX designer, my advice would be use industry standard terminology. Call it strength, call it dex. Everybody does. And you're reducing the cognitive load on someone who's going to recognize something they've already seen. In fact, there's a laws of heuristics, a UX and UI evaluation tool that people use to kind of go through and do these things. And one of the tenets of that is that it's based on people are using other software or other games more than they're using yours, right? So show them things that they already understand, that they already can comprehend. But the caveat being, so in might and in agility, call it strength and dex, because it hasn't really changed that much. But I love that persuasion versus deception has been combined into one thing called influence. And that is cause, to call it something new. So I would pinpoint, as my wish would be, as you go forward and you're kind of dialing in all this terminology, when there's cause, when it's warranted to change the name of something like that, that's really wonderful to simplify it and create something new. For the other things that haven't really changed in concept, leave them alone. That's my wish. Yeah, and now I'll take off my UX hat.
Yeah. Yeah.
Which people are calling for a designer hat
hats in the store.
Okay.
Creating Monster 7.
I'll get to work on that.
It's so comfortable and functional. I'm going to kind of speak to what you just said too, Biv. In two ways, I also agree. I want people to be able to jump into this game as quickly as possible and not be wondering what the words are. And of course, this is the alpha, things change, and they will probably change a lot. Well, maybe or maybe not. But yes, to be able to have that kind of like a ground is great. Though I also would like to also say that what you said about having these different concepts put together, physical, mental, these kind of categories. I love the hierarchy. That's my star, is the hierarchy. I think that 5e has too many, and a lot of other games, has too many attributes in a lot of ways, because I don't always know. People can fight me on this. I get that. I get it. I don't always know the differences between them. They're not as clear cut. So I think that fewer is so great, but what they mean together in groups is also so strong. And y'all are gonna love how Alan has put that together in the end. Yeah, you're gonna love how those things are solved. And I totally agree with the skill. I mean, the skill names clearer and like I love trickery.
Yeah.
But acrobatics is something that I can latch onto immediately because I know what acrobatics is. I know what athletics is. So yeah, those are mine too. And of course, I cannot wait also to build the character sheet that does a lot of the math for you. So you can also learn the math, but also see it happening bing, bing, bing when you make these changes. So it's possible. It won't be done.
Well, thanks to everybody that joined us today. It has been so fun to make so many new friends these past couple of weeks. For those of you who kind of tuned in late, we are the Pocket Dimension. That's Matt. Yes. I'm Allison. We've got Fitz and we've got Evan. We are a bunch of nerds who love playing tabletop role-playing games, and we are so excited to have DC20. So if you've enjoyed the content today, we have a lot more to say and a lot more to play when it comes to this. So please like this video, subscribe to our channel. We do have a Patreon. We have a Discord, exactly. I have too many things. Which one you want? There we go. So we have a Discord, free free and open to everybody.
clear.
Because of last week's stream, we made a DC20 specific channel. So come talk about DC20, and we're also in DC20's Discord talking about DC20. And then our Patreon is where we play games. We have monthly one-shots with our patrons, in addition to a whole host of nerdy, neurospicy, RPG-fueled content. So let's all be friends. Let's all break open this alpha and get ready for the beta and everything beyond that together. And we're just so happy that you guys spent some time with us today, and we can't wait to spend more time with y'all.
That's my other stuff. Please, everybody, come and hang out with us. Thank you for joining us, Beto and Emmanuel and Kyle and Tabletop and Alan and Wolves and our friends. Yeah, it feels we're all in this together. So thank you so much for being here today.
And Tabletop Phoenix, I see you saying do this again for all of your characters. I could not agree more. I love a session 0 and getting to know the builds. So yes, Fitz and Evan, let's pick what y'all are going to play up next and do some more character sheet creation together.
Challenge accepted.
Next week, same time, same place.
Whoa,
Ciao.
okay.
Thanks, everybody. Bye.